Christopher this year was state champion in impromptu and also a state finalist in extemp. Christopher also was a CFL and NFL qualifier in a different event, which was Congress. This is the second year he's qualified for NFLs, and the third year he's qualified for CFLs. I do speech, can't you tell? So without further ado, the recording secretary of speeching this year, who's in charge of all our points, Mr. Christopher Furman.
Okay, most events in speech are memorized beforehand. Some aren't. Impromptu is such an example where you don't have anything prepared beforehand, but as you go to the round, you have to write the speech on your own at that point in time. The rules of impromptu call for 7 minutes in all, and you have to use 2 or 3 of those minutes to actually write your speech, and then the rest of your remaining 7 minutes to perform the speech. And so I'm going to ask some people in the audience just randomly to select some topics. There's different areas of topics, such as titles of movies or people in the news. Tonight I'd like to speak on objects, physical objects like hats or shoes or anything creative you can think of. I'll go over here and prepare the speech, and Jessica Jones will be helping with time signals. So if 3 of you could think of an object you'd like to hear a speech on tonight. It's Dr. Furman. Dogs. This was not planned. Dr. Bell. Oh, credit card. Gold Visa. Miss Stella?
Waffle irons.
Okay, I have a choice of dogs. Okay, I'll have to take one from the student body. No, just to be fair. How about, excuse me? That's a show.
It's a TV show. It works.
Caleb, what do you have? Spam. Okay, I gotta limit it to that. No, I'm sorry, I'm gonna limit it on that. Okay, I feel called to talk about spam tonight. Okay, so I'm going to sit over here for a few minutes of silence, intent, and prepare my speech on spam. Anyone who has encountered the interesting food item spam definitely has it engraved permanently in their memory, if not from the pure sight of it, from the smell of it. It of course has quite a moldy, fatty reddish, pinkish, flesh-like consistency that can turn anyone's stomach. Now, since it's such a popular and well-known product, there's got to be someone out there who likes Spam. But in all, it is definitely a major force in society today. So tonight I've been called upon to talk some about Spam. I will do so in three main areas of analysis. The first, simply the question, Spam, what is it? At looking at what Spam exactly tells us about our society, and then looking at how Spam can help us out in life. Spam is a conjunction of two words, spiced ham. How I know that, I don't know. It is a fact that that's how the makers of Spam came up with the name for their brand product. It is somehow some type of processed food product. Just as if it was cheese, it would probably be misspelled C-H-E-E-Z. It's been processed so much that you really have to wonder how much original pig is in a can of Spam. Otherwise, it might have many chemicals and many other things that just helped it to be processed. And although it's something that sits on the grocery shelf, the kind of thing that you always pass by and never really want to admit it's there, something that you have to kind of turn away so you don't really have to think of it. This year, in fact, in an earlier event that the speech team does, it has its No Talent show, I got the honor of choosing the awards for this talent show, and I chose little cans of processed Spam. So in all, it is something that obviously exists, but with everything, any object you can choose, there's always a deeper meaning to it. There's something more than just that nasty can of hammy stuff that you see in supermarkets. So what else is there to a can of Spam? First of all, it can tell you something about today's society. Spam, if set out on a table, will probably never spoil. There's probably nothing in it to spoil. For all, it has enough salt in it. I do shamedly admit I have tasted Spam before. It has enough salt in it to pickle anything, and it, once again, has enough preservatives in it to make it last forever. It seems that we are wanting to make food preparation easier in American life. That's one thing that can be talked about with Spam. It's somewhat of a McDonaldization of our society, where something always needs to be fast and easy readily right there. Just that you can just crack up that scrumptious open that scrumptious package of Spam, dig right in there. It's pre-cooked, and it even comes out in a big, nice, square, pretty heart shape. So it's ready to eat, and it's immediate. And that's kind of a trend that our society is going to. We want everything to be immediate. We want our awards to come right now. In all, maybe we should look back to the days where Mom had to slave over the hot oven for 3 hours to cook one meal. Of course, no one wants that again. What we need is a compromise in life, to be able to realize that things do take work, that really some things are good, that last, that you actually have to work for, to earn. And with a can of Spam, it's just something that you open up and dig into, just like that. And not everything in life is like that, and we must understand that tonight. But also, it tells us some about life in general, about just looking at an open hunk of Spam sitting there on your slimed plate. You can think of how it really does tell you some messages in life. First of all, I'd like to touch on a theme that there's a good saying, for instance, that what looks bad to you, what seems bad to you immediately, sometimes is good for you. For instance, spinach. Everyone knows from watching Popeye that he hates spinach, but it saves the day all the time. That it's bad for him, or rather that it is good for him, but he hates it. And mothers often tell you that just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it's bad for you. It's actually good for you. Spam, on the other hand, really shows the opposite point. What appears bad to you usually is bad to you. Spam contains, once again, thousands of milligrams of salt, chemicals, cholesterol, everything bad for you. You look at it on the store, you think of a Spam burger, as the commercials are now telling you to eat. You think of everything to do with Spam, and it gives you a feeling in your heart, in your stomach, that it's going to be nasty, especially when you smell it. It gives you this. And in the same way, our tuition can often lead us to make similar choices. sometimes people are always in situations in which they have a bad feeling about it. They feel that they should turn around and try to avoid the situation. But once again, if you always listen to the quip that what seems bad is usually good for you, it's a lie. You can use instinct like you use your nose and your stomach when you look at a can of Spam and try to help it lead you to do what is right, to feel that, to know whether or not eating that can of Spam is going to be good for you. And in this instance, of course, it will not be. So in conclusion, we can clearly understand that there's a lot more to Spam than it seems. And always now, when we pass by that section, the grocery store with the processed food items and misspelled words, we can see that there's a little more captured in that can labeled SPAM than just a nasty, slimy loaf of processed meat. It's a chunk, not just of what was once a pig, but a chunk of life.
Next up is Miss Beth Rose. She's going to be giving an oratory